This study was a kind of proof of concept for us. We launched what we called the FILIT study, which FILIT goes for first-line treatment. The study is called Field Use of Cardalis as first-line treatment in dogs with congestive heart failure due to chronic degenerative valvular disease. The objective of this study was to document the field use of the product as first-line treatment. The objective was to document the effect on clinical signs, quality of life, tolerance, compliance to treatment, and also to evaluate the palatability and the ease of use from the owners' and veterinarians' point of view. The study design of the study, so it was a single-arm, multi-center and GCP field clinical study. It was performed in 4 European countries. We opened nearly 50 sites in France, Belgium, Germany, Netherlands, and Slovakia. So there were 2 successive treatment periods. So all dogs received, for the first treatment period of 3 months, Cardalis, meaning the association of benazepril and spironolactone in a single tablet. And then, after 3 months treatment, they switched to treatment period 2 of 2 weeks, receiving Fortecor and Prolactone separately. The inclusion criteria. We took dogs of any age, gender and breed with a weight higher than 2.5 kg. They had to have an evidence of CDVD thanks to a cardiac murmur, an echo evidence of left atrial enlargement, evidenced by a left atrium to aorta ratio higher or equal to 1.5, and radio evidence of cardiomegaly. And also they had to be in heart failure, of course, with exercise intolerance, dyspnea, and pulmonary edema on presentation. The non-inclusion criteria, the most important one is that actually all dogs had to be free from any previous cardiac treatment. So any dog which had received ACE inhibitor or any other treatment, cardiac treatment before presentation were excluded from the study. Otherwise, any other heart disease or any other concomitant disease which could interfere with the product was forbidden. The concomitant treatments, regarding cardiac treatments, from inclusion, investigators were allowed to prescribe any other cardiac treatment, such as furosemide and/or PIMO. After inclusion, they were also allowed to increase the dose of benazepril as it is allowed in the marketing authorization of Fortecor. Regarding non-cardiac treatments, any other non-cardiac treatment was authorized as soon as it did not interfere with the product, with the tested product, sorry. And regarding forbidden drugs, normally, ACE inhibitor other than benazepril and other aldosterone antagonists than spironolactone were not allowed, as well as any non-cardiac treatment interacting with the tested drug. The visit schedule was quite classical. So there was, during the first treatment period with with Cardalis, there were 4 visits. One at inclusion, 1 week, 1 month, and 3 months. At each visit, there was a clinical examination, the measurement of systemic arterial blood pressure, and blood sampling. In addition to that, at inclusion, of course, for characterization of cases, there was an ECG, a thoracic radiography, and an echo, and also a thoracic radiography at the end of the first treatment period. Then, at the very end of the study, after having completed the second treatment period, so there was also a visit with clinical examination, measurement of systemic arterial blood pressure, and blood sampling. The evaluated criteria, so first of all, the efficacy criteria over treatment period 1 was where the progression of clinical signs versus inclusion, the progression of the quality of life as assessed by the Fetch score, the need for doubling the ACE inhibitor dose, because as you can remember, they could double the dose of benazepril, the progression of the class of heart failure compared to D0, and the progression of the main radiographic parameters, among others, edema. Regarding the ease of use and practicality, it was Cardalis versus separate drugs, so it was period 1 versus period 2. So we analyzed compliance to treatment, palatability, owners' evaluation according to the questionnaires they answered, and investigators' evaluation. We go to the results. So the analyzed population comprised 101 dogs. They were recruited by 28 investigators in France and Germany mainly, and then Belgium, Netherlands, and a bit in Slovakia. The general characteristics at inclusion, while it's quite classical for this disease, it was small, middle-aged dogs. There were about half males and half females, and as you can see, yes, these were the usual small breed dogs which are affected. Regarding their clinical characteristics, so according to inclusion criteria, all dogs presented dyspnea, exercise intolerance, and heart murmur. They presented a cardiomegaly, so you can see that the BVHS had a mean of 12, and they all presented pulmonary edema. They also all presented left atrial enlargement. You can see that the mean left atrium to aorta ratio was 2. Also, most dogs were in class 2, about 90%, and the mean fetch score was around 26, but you will see later what it means. So first of all, the evolution of the class of heart failure. So here on the y-axis is the number of dogs, and on the x-axis is the days corresponding to each visit. So inclusion, 1 week, 1 month, and 3 months. And in blue is class 1, yellow class 2, and red class 3. So you can see that at inclusion, according to inclusion criteria, all dogs are in class 2 or 3. And when you go along time, the number of red decreases and the number of blue increases. And so you can see that there is an improvement of the class of heart failure. When we look at clinical signs, which represent heart disease, so for dyspnea, exercise intolerance, cough, and demeanor, you can see that the evolution is similar to what we saw in the previous slide. There is a quick improvement as soon as day 7, as soon as 1 week, and then the improvement persists until 1 month, and then there is a stabilization until 3 months. So here is the result of the FETCH questionnaire. So the FETCH questionnaire comprises 17 questions. So each question, for each question, the owner has to score from 0 to 5, 0 being no clinical sign and 5 being the most severe. Then you do the sum of the score for each of the 17 questions, so that finally the FETCH score can range from 0 to 85, with higher scores indicating poorer quality of life. Here at inclusion we have about 26, and we can see that as soon as day 7 there is a great decrease, and which persists until 1 month, and then there is a stabilization until 3 months. Finally, from clinical signs evaluated by investigators and from the FETCH questionnaire from the owners, we can see that dog's condition is improved by 1 week and then is stabilized for 3 months. And this is verified by both vets and owners. Here is the evolution of pulmonary edema according to the same graph system. So you can see that after 3 months treatment, nearly half dogs had their edema disappeared. What about the need for doubling ACE inhibitor dose? So finally, no dog, for no dog, there was a need to double the benazepril dose. So all dogs received only Cardalis, received their ACE inhibitor only through Cardalis. Then the results on treatment compliance. So over the treatment period 1, which lasted 12 weeks with Cardalis, there was more than 85% good treatment compliance. Then, when we switch to the second treatment period with Fortecor plus Prolacton, which lasted only 2 weeks, we can see that more than 25% dogs failed to comply to treatment. And among the dogs which which failed to comply to treatment, often they had a good treatment compliance for one product, but not for the two, meaning that actually the difficulty really lay in giving 2 tablets instead of 1 daily. So here we can see that treatment compliance was better for 3 months treatment with Cardalis than for 2-week treatment with the association of the 2 separate drugs. What about palatability? So we see that there was more than 90% spontaneous ingestion for Cardalis and for Fortecor, and a bit less than 90% for Prolacton. And when we look at the detail, according to spontaneous ingestion without food or with food, we can see that Cardalis seems to be more palatable than Fortecor, since the distribution among without food or with food is better for Cardalis. We switch now to the owner's perception about the treatment. So at the end of the first treatment period, they said if they answered the question if they were satisfied or not. And we can see that nearly all owners were satisfied or very satisfied. Nearly all of them found it easy or very easy to give to their dog, and they considered it as practical or very practical to manage day to day. Then at the end of the second treatment period, after having given Fortecor plus Prolacton, we asked them if they had preferred Cardalis or the association of the 2 separate drugs. And whatever it is for ease of administration, practicality or palatability, more than 95% for the 2 first one and nearly 90% for palatability considered, preferred Cardalis to Fortecor plus Prolacton. What about the investigators' point of view? Also, around 90% investigators found Cardalis easier to prescribe than Fortecor plus Prolacton, among others thanks to an easy dosing regimen to adapt. And nearly 90% of them would choose Cardalis rather than an ACE inhibitor alone or an ACE inhibitor plus Prolacton for a dog with congestive heart failure. As a conclusion for the ease of use and practicality results, we can say that Cardalis ease of use was confirmed by vets and owners. And as you know, the heart failure is a chronic condition which requires an increasing number of drugs when the severity increases. So we can say that Cardalis contributes to solve the compliance issue. To conclude, we can say that Cardalis, given at doses of 0.25 mg per kg benazepril and 2 mg per kg spironolactone as first-line treatment, improves the clinical findings and the quality of life of dogs with congestive heart failure by 1 week, then stabilizes it for at least 3 months. It is palatable and easy to use. It allows a better treatment compliance than the association of the 2 separate drugs. So finally, it increases the chances of success of long-term polytherapy of cardiac disease.